I have to say, I am actually shocked at how fast this is taking place. Now, 24 hours ago, we were talking about, the launch of Node 9.0, and we were at about 2% adoption in terms of these staking pool operators. And just in 24 hours, we have actually seen this surge all the way to 11%. So right now, 11% of staking pool operators are in fact adopting the new node version. And remember, this is necessary for us to actually have the Chang hard fork deployment. Now, why this is important is instead of this possibly taking multiple weeks to get to this point where we hit the 70% threshold, it may in fact just take until mid next week. Now, know this doesn't necessarily mean that Chang hard fork is going to be deployed the second we hit 70%. That's not how it works. It may be a couple days following that. It may be a week following that. Who knows? But what this does show is that we are on pace to at least have the first portion of the Chang hard fork deployed here in the month of July, which is very exciting. Now, what's interesting about this is that this is being done in a less strict way compared to the Vassal hard fork. For those that were around at the time, if you remember, 70% or 75% of staking pool operators had to actually approve the deployment of the Vassal hard fork. So they had to update their node to that current node version. We had to have actually exchanges that managed 80% of the liquidity, approve the hard fork as well. And we had to have the top 10 dApps by TVL integrate the hard fork node as well. So there was a lot of things that had to take place, and that could have been because obviously this is really mostly for the deployment of on-chain governance that had to do with, transaction fees and many different things as well. So very interesting stuff. Now, I've had some questions about voting when it comes to this new governance model. And I think it's important that people understand how this works. Someone was asking, is my voice still going to be heard? And yes, actually. So this is going to be broken down into a couple different things. Okay. There's going to be DREPs, so delegated representatives. They operate within a liquid democratic framework. ADA holders can become a DREP themselves and vote directly on governance actions on behalf of themselves and other ADA holders, or alternatively can delegate their voting power to a DREP to vote on their behalf. So the Constitutional Committee reviews the constitutionality of governance actions under a limited scope. It is a formal group outside of the intersect that fulfills its role independently. And then staking pool operators. So within the governance context, staking pool operators play an important role by voting on major decisions in addition to DREPs and by providing checks and balances to overall governance models. So you as an ADA holder can actually delegate your vote to essentially a DREP, someone that can in fact vote on your behalf that aligns with the way that you want to vote. Now, though, know this, there is an independent voting process as well. So if you wish to remain independent of like a DREP or someone voting for you, you can do that. There are actually front ends and platforms being built out for this. We know that the process before for this was kind of complex and most people weren't really familiar with how to do some of this voting. So it's going to make the process actually a lot easier. Now, it's also important to note that there is going to be a system of checks and balances with this, guys. This is probably the most important thing that you need to know. So one entity can't just go out and start doing things, right? For example, motion of no confidence, new constitutional committee, new threshold, new terms, things like that are voted on by the DREPs and the staking pool operators. Updates to the constitution or proposal policy, so a modification to the constitution or policy are going to be done by the Constitutional Committee and DREPs. The hard fork initiation has to be approved by all three entities, Constitutional Committee, DREPs, staking pool operators. Protocol parameter changes, which you guys probably can't see right here, but protocol parameter changes as well as treasury withdrawals are ratified by the Constitutional Committee and DREPs. And then again, any info changes, so really just on-chain records have to be ratified by all three entities. So this is how basically this whole process is going to work. Now, know this, it's going to take a while for everybody to get familiar with how this works, but this is the most complex, well, I don't know why I keep saying complex, weird, the most complex governance model in all of crypto. But the reason why it is so complex is that nobody can mess it up. Basically, that's the whole reason why this has taken so long to get deployed. Remember, CIP 1694 was actually first proposed, I believe, in November of 2022. So this has been very long in development, but now we're on the threshold of this actually functioning. So I just want to share this with everyone. I want to hear when you think we're actually going to cross the 70% threshold. I think it's going to be next week. So appreciate you as always. Have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.